Okay, so this is Apache, and we've been working with her for about 6 to 8 months. She was extremely head shy when we first started. She had to have eye surgery, but we've gotten her to the point where she is really accepting of things around her face. Now, we have been using a bit with her. We've tried both a snaffle bit and we've tried a 3-piece snaffle bit with a dog bone roller. And she's still a little bit resistant to that, but she has learned how to use the bit. Today we're actually experimenting with a type of bitless bridle. This is actually an English type bridle, and it has a cavesson that's supposed to fit on the nose. I don't think this is as tight as really it needs to get. It seems to be a little bit big, but instead of a throat latch, what it does is it has these straps that go underneath it that actually apply pressure. So when we ask her to give, she's actually giving to the pressure on the opposite side. So far she's been pretty good about it. She's listening to it, but the big thing is we're going to see if it really makes any kind of difference on her overall performance, and if she's going to give to it or have a little less nervousness than she would with a regular bridle. So we're basically going to go through the exercise of moving her 5 body parts. So number 1, what we want her to do is we want her to just flex her neck. Ooh. Now she did pop her nose out a little bit when we're applying a little bit of pressure to ask her to back up. She's popping her nose a little bit, but she is giving to the pressure on that cavesson. Now we're going to ask her to give us her head. And that was really nice. She's really nice, being nice and flexible on that. Of course, we've done a lot of work with her and a halter, just giving to a halter. So she's moving around, and it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. So we've moved her head and her neck. Next thing's next. We're going to ask her to move forehand. So we're going to start out by walking in a circle. We're going to sit back. We're going to add our outside. Out here. There we go. That's fairly nice. We're just going to kind of lead with that rope. So really, she's not feeling much pressure at all. There we go. And that was actually really nice, but what you do on one side, you have to do on the other. So we're going to open the door to our left, close the door, button number 1 on the right side. We're going to ask her to move that shoulder. Not quite as good. She's giving us a little, there we go. She's giving into the head a little bit. Just asking her to move that, there we go. A little bit of movement right there in the front end. So really not as good with her front end movement. But now we're going to ask her to move her back end. So I'm going to turn her nose to the right using this bitless bridle. So she's applying pressure, and I'm going to kick button number 3 until she gives me those hindquarters. And I'm really releasing. I'm just using a little bit of pressure on the bridle. I'm barely even touching it. And that was really pretty good. So we're going to ask her to give it on the other side. Turn her nose to the left. Button number 3. A little bit of fighting. Come on, button number 3. As soon as she gives, I give. I'm just using that wee little bit of pressure. And she's listening to my leg really well, but she's still throwing her head a little bit, which is she's just getting used to the pressure of the bit. Just because it's a bitless bridle doesn't mean that there's not going to be pressure applied to the horse's jaw. And that's what people don't seem to understand. You're still applying pressure. However, it's not supposed to be the same sort of pressure as you would get if you're going across the bars. Well, she's listening fairly well. She's turning her circle. Now we're going to ask her to turn a circle to the left. And I'm using that outside rein, just kind of getting her used to neck reining. Outside pressure on that leg. Now she stopped real well. Let's ask her to back. I'm just giving a little pull and release, pull and release. Her head's coming up a little bit. I want that head to kind of come down when I ask her for it. So I'm going to pull. There you go. She's giving. She's giving really nicely. However, she's definitely reacting to the pressure of the bit. There we go. So we got a good little bit out of her. But that's the difference with an English type bitless bridle and what we're going through with moving the horse's 5 body parts.